look at it as good news for Shadore. The truth is, you couldn't keep Kenny Pickett. We've told them this. Now, I don't trust the Browns. I trust the beautiful people of Cleveland. I don't know what these weird organizations are about to do with Shadore, because people keep telling me, bro, you should be happy he's on the team, this and that. No, I don't care if they get rid of every single quarterback. We literally see Kevin Stafanski not trying to do anything with Shedeur
on the field. You watching the game, Chad. There's a lot of Shedeur Sanders fans. What did you think of his first outing?
Listen, all the talk and the narratives and the storylines and whatever you want to say, sooner or later that ball's about to snap. And that young man we watched at Colorado, who's one of the best football players in the nation, is now looking like one of the best football players in the nation at another level. That's what it was. I knew the collusion and all the stuff, like I said, you want to go through. You saw what Shedeur Sanders was capable of. We all knew what Shedeur Sanders was capable of, and he's going to show that he should start.
Imagine this. Cleveland's head coach, Kevin Stafanski, sitting on the hottest seat in Ohio, sweating bullets, while fans grip their remotes like it's the Super Bowl. Ratings just tanked faster than the Browns' playoff hopes, and it's all because of one name, Shedeur Sanders. The man hasn't even played a full NFL season, yet somehow he's turned the entire city into detectives, wondering if Stafanski might actually be allergic to winning. This meltdown? It makes soap operas look like documentaries. If you're enjoying this chaos, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, it helps more than you think, because the Cleveland Browns are football's version of a heartbreak playlist. A franchise so tragic that even Shakespeare would have tossed his pen and said, "Yeah, that's too much drama for me." Every single year, it's the same tired script. Hope, hype, heartbreak, repeat. At the center of all this chaos stands Kevin Stafanski, the coach who once had the city fooled into thinking he was the long-awaited football genius. For a quick minute,
shows that Shedeur Sanders is this much closer, just this much closer to showing the world that he belongs in a situation like a starting quarterback. I mean, let's go back to this throw, man. Can we please come off this bootleg, the play action, right? We're going to get our wide receiver here into the flats. We got a corner route here. Can we just take a second to see how beautiful this throw is? Stops on a dime, understands he's got time to throw. A lot of these quarterbacks nowadays, they like to play hero ball, roll really outside the pocket and make a crossbody throw that ends up being maybe overthrown, underthrown, doesn't matter.
Cleveland believed they had their savior, the man who'd finally turn misery into miracles. But fast forward to now, and that same guy is being roasted by his own fans like he fumbled Thanksgiving dinner. TV ratings are diving faster than a paper airplane in a thunderstorm, and the chants have shifted from Coach of the Year to please fire this man before my eyeballs bleed. And what's the cause of this chaos? Simple. One name, Shedeur Sanders. The kid hasn't even stepped into an NFL huddle, yet his name is being poured on Cleveland's drama like gasoline on a bonfire. Fans are staring at their screens, yawning through Stafanski's predictable play-it-safe offense, while watching Shedeur light up the internet with highlight reels that look like Hollywood trailers. Now, Browns Nation is asking themselves, why are we stuck eating reheated leftovers while the rest of the league is dining on steak? It's not that Stafanski's time in Cleveland has been a total disaster.
Stefanski didn't want him. So I
don't know if that's so cold-blooded. Like,
I mean, that's what they were saying before when he.
I mean, it's just like, I already picked who I want. Oh, you want me to get him too? Okay, I will. But I think the other guy's better. Like, how would you feel if somebody forced somebody on you? Like, you'd be like, I don't dislike the guy. It's just like I thought somebody else was better. You think I ain't been watching film? Like, that's kind of undermining the Stefanski. Look, it happens all the time. I'm not tripping, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to make Stafanski like a bad guy because he's like, after all of my evaluation, I like this.
In fact, not being a complete embarrassment is already an achievement in Browns country. But somewhere along the way, his coaching turns stale, like that one teacher who reads straight from the textbook with zero excitement. Every play feels safe, every call feels scared, and the offense looks allergic to creativity. Stefanski's job security about as steady as a Jenga tower in an earthquake, and just when the Browns thought they could keep their mess quiet, along comes Shedeur Sanders, and suddenly Every spotlight in football is aimed right at them. Then along comes Shedeur Sanders, the human highlight reel, the quarterback with the swagger of a rock star, the arm of a cannon, and the kind of media pull that could rival a Kardashian wedding. Every snap he takes turns into a viral moment. Every throw feels like a movie trailer, and every sports network
guarantee that the Browns are going to keep 4 quarterbacks. That is no longer the case. What is your reaction to Cleveland shipping Pickett to Vegas?
I mean, technically they are keeping 4. Deshaun Watson is still sitting out there, so they weren't lying. They just didn't say which 4 they were keeping, right? But in all seriousness, man, it's a great move for the Raiders because Aiden O'Connell was a solid backup, a guy that has played some games, won some games, started some games, and now he's injured, so you have to find a way to back up Geno Smith. And Pickett was just sitting out there. He really kind of faded himself out of that quarterback competition between he, Flacco, and one of the rookies because he was injured during the spring and during the 7-on-7 period where he, injured his hamstring.
Can't stop talking about him. Shedeur isn't just a college quarterback. He's a one-man brand, a marketing machine wrapped in shoulder pads. Now picture this, you're a Browns fan, sitting on your couch watching Stafanski call yet another predictable 3rd and long draw play. Meanwhile, across the country, Shedeur is out there putting on a fireworks show that has ESPN anchors screaming like they just hit the jackpot. It's like watching your neighbor throw a wild block party while you're stuck at home eating cereal in silence. No wonder the dog pound is boiling over. Fans are asking, why can't we have that? Why are we forced to watch this vanilla, play it safe football while the rest of the league gets served 5-star entertainment every Saturday? That's when frustration turns to full-blown fury. They see Stafanski as so stubborn, so obsessed with his outdated playbook that he'd rather drain the life out of the team than admit
Jimmy Haslam didn't know how to, the owner, by the way, I'm talking about, he didn't know how to move subtle and smart. So the things that they're in shambles now, you cannot deny greatness. Kenny Pickett is being traded to the Raiders.
the league has left him behind. Some fans even joke that if Shadore ever landed in Cleveland, Stafanski would probably bench him just to make sure the spotlight stayed on his sacred clipboard. The thought of Stafanski coaching Shedeur is like asking a mime to direct an action movie. It just doesn't work. The styles clash harder than helmets on game day. But here's the thing. This isn't just about play calls or offensive schemes. Football in 2025 is big business. Hype equals money, and no one generates hype quite like Shedeur Sanders. The NFL doesn't just run on touchdowns anymore, it runs on storylines, clicks, and jersey sales. Shedeur is tailor-made for this new era. Every throw, every quote, every celebration goes viral. Now compare that to Cleveland under Stafanski, where even diehard fans are struggling to stay awake before halftime. The difference is brutal. Shedeur boosts markets, Stafanski drains them. And the numbers don't lie. Teams that generate buzz bring in cash, plain and simple. For a city starving for national respect, that's not just frustrating.
Be the security blanket, which is what you brought him there for to begin with. You didn't bring him there to lead the Browns. You brought him to be a security blanket in the event that you couldn't find somebody else who could do it. That's why people in Cleveland were looking at it last year. Why the hell isn't he here last year? What the hell you let him get out the door for before you ultimately brought him back after the season he had a couple of years ago? But I do think it's important to bring this one nugget up. I'm looking at the average time to throw for a quarterback last year in the National Football League. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like at 2.42 to 3.14 seconds, if I remember correctly, based on what
It's a nightmare. And the most painful part, the Browns actually have talent. They're not hopeless. The roster is loaded with weapons just waiting for someone bold enough to unleash them. But under Stafanski, those offensive tools are like Ferraris stuck in rush hour traffic. All potential, no movement. Fans know what Shedeur represents: chaos, energy, unpredictability, excitement. So here we are, the boiling point. Browns fans aren't just mumbling under their breath anymore, they're demanding change. Social media is on fire, with hashtag #FireStafanski trending like a viral outbreak. Local sports talk shows are tearing him apart daily, and the question that once seemed unthinkable is now everywhere. Is it time to cut ties with the man who was supposed to save the Browns? The outrage isn't just about losses anymore. It's about boredom. Nothing drains passion faster than predictability, and Cleveland fans are flat out exhausted. Now the fantasy takes over, the what-if dream that keeps fans up at night. What if Shedeur Sanders actually landed in Cleveland? Picture the chaos. The stadium would sell out before tickets even hit the market. Every sports network in America would beg to air Browns games. Merch sales through the roof. Highlight clips.
You can get right. 3 to 4, I'm going to play devil's advocate. 3 to 4 seconds, the ball has to be gone. And on some of those sacks that he had, it wasn't because the offensive line just got completely beat. Like, if the O-line got beat right off the bat, like, all right, yeah, it's hard to beat that. But some of those plays, that's when the drifting, the bad habits that he had, the drifting came in. Instead of taking that drop and then hitching back up in that pocket and then throwing it, you kept drifting back. And then for an offensive tackle, he's thinking, oh, well, I'm going to run you around. Like, you're going to have to run the hoop. That's why they call it run the hoop. But if the quarterback keeps backing up, that's a straight shot for him. So that some of those sacks were on him. I think he just couldn't really get things
trending daily. Suddenly, Cleveland wouldn't just be part of the NFL, they'd be the center of it. Because like it or not, Shadore represents everything Stafanski doesn't. Energy, flash, and excitement. One is bold, electric, and can't miss television. The other is careful, conservative, and about as thrilling as watching paint dry. And that's the dilemma. Stick with Stafanski, the safe choice, who's slowly draining the life out of the franchise, or take a gamble on change before the entire fan base revolts. Because in today's NFL, playing it safe doesn't keep you relevant. Just ask the networks. They're praying Cleveland figures this out before the ratings hit rock bottom.
The Browns are trading Kenny Pickett to the Raiders in this move that's going to shake a whole lot of stuff. I've been telling you guys that Shadore has played phenomenal to the point in practice. Everybody can see the sabotage. You cannot allow Shedeur Sanders to change the narratives for any of them, meaning that if Shedeur Sanders kept going hard in the paint the way he's doing, obviously the NFL rigged system of collusion should have.
Right now, the Browns are the living embodiment of a cruel inside joke. They finally have a talented roster. They finally look like they could climb out of the basement. And yet the biggest storyline isn't about their current quarterback, their defense, or their playoff push. Nope. The national conversation is about Shedeur Sanders, the fantasy savior fans imagine floating down from the football heavens to rescue them from Kevin Stefanski's 3 yards and a cloud of boredom offense. Let's be real. This stopped being about wins and losses a long time ago. Cleveland fans can handle pain. They've been doing it for decades. Losing doesn't break them. Apathy does. Because if there's one thing this city has always embraced, it's chaos. Give them heartbreak. Give them drama. Give them something to feel. Just don't give them nothing. What's unbearable is losing and looking like you're running a scrimmage at half speed. Under Stafanski, every drive feels predictable, every punt feels inevitable, and every week feels the same. So of course, fans are making comparisons, and they're brutal. They see Shedeur Sanders lighting up highlight reels, a walking storm of confidence and unpredictability. One goes viral, the other.
Yes, he injured his hamstring. I thought it was on Saturday that he injured the hamstring,
That's
but
what
apparently
I thought.
it was earlier in the week.
Oh,
it was
okay.
earlier in the week on a long run or something. Played the rest of practice the rest of the week, and then Saturday re-aggravated it bad enough that said something. They got it checked out, and they said, okay, we're going to hold you out for this week, and then they're going to reevaluate him at the end of the week. So right now at training camp, it is just Joe Flacco, and then it's Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So the two rookies are getting increased reps. Beforehand, I thought, this is a three-man race, and Shedeur's not.
Collects dust in a box. And here's where it gets juicy. Fans aren't just blaming Stafanski for running the most predictable offense in the league. They're starting to believe he's scared of players like Shedeur Sanders. They think a quarterback with that much swagger, charisma, and media power would instantly steal the spotlight from a coach who looks more like an accountant than a sideline leader. Let's be real. Stafanski doesn't exactly light up a room. He gives off spreadsheet energy, not locker room fire. Now imagine pairing that vibe with Shedeur, a quarterback who trends every time he ties his shoelaces. Fans swear Stafanski would short circuit before letting that happen. They think he'd rather protect his clipboard than risk being outshined by a player who could turn Cleveland into headline central. And that's not paranoia.
My name is Willie B, man. Hey, he the real deal. Real deal. That's coming from Willie. That's coming from Willie. Hey, now how y'all feel now? How y'all feel now? No matter what he do, how you feel now? That man playing for his daddy. All you haters, if you hate Shadore, you hate football. How can you not love that story? Deion Sanders, absolute legend.
It's frustration built over years of disappointment. Let's talk economics, because this runs deeper than X's and O's. Cleveland fans are some of the most loyal, battle-tested people in all of sports. They've endured heartbreaks, cursed seasons, and quarterbacks who come and go faster than halftime ads. These fans don't ask for perfection. They just want a team that makes them feel something. Even anger is better than apathy. Rage means you still care. Boredom means you've checked out. And right now, too many fans are yawning instead of yelling. That's dangerous, because when fans stop caring enough to rage, that's when franchises flatline. And that's exactly why Shedeur Sanders has become more than just a name. He's a symbol, the embodiment of everything Cleveland feels it's missing. They don't care if he's unproven at the NFL level. What matters is his energy, his confidence, his chaos. He represents hope wrapped in swagger, and that's something money can't buy. They picture him walking onto the field in that Browns jersey, cameras flashing, crowd roaring, ESPN trucks lining the streets. Suddenly, Cleveland wouldn't be background noise anymore. They'd be must-watch television. The dog pound would come alive again, and the national media would finally stop treating them like an afterthought.
It's official. The Cleveland Browns have cleansed themselves of all the wrongdoing for the past, what seems to be 4, 5, 6 months, I don't even know. But they have traded Kenny Pickett, and this might not seem like big news from the outside looking in, but it actually really is big news. It goes to show how much confidence that they have in potentially Shedeur Sanders and or Dillon Gabriel as the future of this football team. Kenny Pickett was still on the younger side. He was still someone that they thought could be the future of this team. But now that they have traded him, it seems like Kevin Stafanski and Andrew Berry have kind of came to their senses and said, you know what? These young guys have enough.
Meanwhile, Stafanski's reputation is sinking faster than his TV ratings. Every week feels like another nail in the coffin, another sign his time might be up. Fans are already swapping coaching names like fantasy football picks, debating replacements before the season's even over, and in true Cleveland fashion, the rumor mill is on overdrive. Because let's be honest, no fan base loves a wild theory or a dramatic twist quite like the Browns' faithful. Stafanski doesn't just lack creativity. Fans believe he's actively refusing to give them the thrill they crave. Some even joke that he'd rather tank his own job than admit football has evolved beyond his dusty playbook. Shedeur Sanders represents that evolution: energy, swagger, adaptability. And of course, Stafanski would be the first to block it. It's almost poetic, in a frustrating kind of way. Now picture this: Shedeur Sanders in a Browns uniform, ready to light up the field, only for Stafanski to call back-to-back screen passes and then punt. Fans can already see it. They can picture Shedeur on the sideline, hands in the air, frustration boiling over, while Stafanski defends his process in a press conference as the crowd collectively loses it. The memes would be instant. The meltdown would be legendary. But maybe that's the real story here. Maybe this isn't just about one coach or one quarterback. Maybe the Browns are staring down an identity crisis. Do they want to be that team that plays it safe, hides behind conservative calls, and quietly fades into irrelevance? Or do they finally want to take risks, embrace chaos, and make noise, even if it means crashing spectacularly in the process? Because that's what Shedeur Sanders symbolizes: boldness, unpredictability, and hope wrapped in confidence. And Stafanski, he's the symbol of hesitation, the fear of taking that leap, The stakes are higher than anyone realizes. If Cleveland doesn't change soon, if the ratings keep dropping and the energy keeps fading, even the most loyal fans, the ones who've stuck through decades of pain, might finally walk away. This isn't about patience anymore. It's about entertainment. Because at the end of the day, football isn't just about winning games. It's about giving people a reason to care, a reason to show up, to scream, to believe again. And right now, the only thing Cleveland fans seem to care about is how fast they can change the channel. So if you made it this far, show some love. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Because Cleveland's story isn't finished yet, and if this storm keeps brewing, the next chapter might just break the internet.